Hi, my name is Anna Vardanova, and today I'm going to talk about API economy and the importance of having API strategy. We're going to have a look at what is an API, what is API economy, how APIs are transforming businesses, and how you can effectively design an API strategy. An API, or Application Programming Interface, is a software intermediary that allows two applications or pieces of software to talk to each other. Without APIs, the digital experience that we are accustomed to, such as booking a hotel or booking a flight over an application or downloading a software, would just not be possible. Each time we use an application like Uber, we are using APIs. So let's see how that happens on the example of Momondo. We go on Momondo website or application, and we simply type the destination and the desired date of travel. Momondo then takes this request and obtains all possibilities for us. This happens by connecting through APIs to all the travel partners, all travel airlines, obtaining their availability of the flights, availability of the price information, and communicating back to us. All this is possible due to APIs. APIs have enabled the exponential development of cloud, IoT, social networks, mobile devices, and applications. And that, in its turn, has put APIs at the heart of digital transformation. The API economy can be defined as the way APIs positively affect an organization's profitability. There are many ways how you can group the benefits that APIs bring to organizations. I have grouped them in the following 6. APIs enable better customer reach. APIs provide ways to reach new customers by offering existing services via new platforms and devices. For example, by providing APIs to other industry apps, a bank has the opportunity to obtain new customers and lower customer acquisition cost. Many organizations still have monolithic legacy infrastructure and applications. Many companies are moving forward with microservices architecture by re-architecting the underlying application code and exposing functionalities through APIs. Microservices is kind of a variant of the service-oriented architecture that arranges an application as a collection of loosely coupled services of all of them, and all of them are interconnected via APIs. This enables agility and scalability that companies need in today's world. Since older systems typically host legacy applications with business-critical data and services, like master customer records, for example, a huge number of new IT projects must integrate with the systems. APIs enable central IT to modernize these legacy systems by abstracting away core data and services from the underlying system complexity. APIs enable omni-channel seamless customer experience. Today, you can start ordering a product on a website, check out via mobile app, verify delivery status via voice-enabled device like Alexa or Google Assistant, and then pick it up at a nearby store. APIs also enable the creation of vast repository of customer data, such as preferences and behaviors, which makes it possible to provide highly relevant and personalized experience. APIs can also help an organization develop new systems, offerings, and strategies because they reduce technical barriers to innovation. A taxi booking app, for example, might combine a mapping API, communication API, and billing API, each from different providers, combine that with their own UX layer on top of that. This makes it easy to launch new services without having to build everything from scratch. Often an API can also be a direct source of revenue. You can charge developers and third parties for accessing and using your APIs. But you can also think of brand new business opportunities. For example, a lot of traditional retailers have developed their e-commerce platforms and applications, which is enabled by APIs. Thus, APIs can contribute to your organization's growth, reduce cost, and improve its profitability significantly. One of the best examples to see how this is happening is Netflix. Netflix supports thousands of different devices today that you can stream your favorite movie or programs on. And all of these devices are communicating via APIs to the single backend. Netflix first published its APIs in 2008. Before, they were just a logistics company sending DVDs to customers to watch and send them back. In 2008, there were two types of APIs that they published. APIs for directly streaming the movie or the program, and catalog browsing APIs. You could only do this through browser back at that time. In 2010, something has happened that has changed the world of DVDs and streaming forever. Apple was working on an Apple TV version 2, and developers decided to build Netflix client into Apple TV 2. A year and a half later, it was almost impossible to buy a TV that would not have Netflix client built into that. So back in its early days, Netflix was struggling and actually even offered Blockbuster to buy Netflix, which was turned down by Blockbuster. As you can see, embracing the technology between 2008 and 12 has earned Netflix exponential growth, both in terms of number of customers and revenue. And on the other end, not embracing the technology and believing in the traditional models has earned Blockbuster a bankruptcy. Not everyone is Netflix, and not everyone can have this kind of transformational growth. Many industries and business models, however, are yet to be disrupted. And thinking into the future and how APIs can help you get there is something that will help you build competitive edge, stay relevant to your customers, and ahead of your competition. APIs are critical technology enablers for several use cases in financial services as well. Web services, microservices, and APIs enable legacy modernization by wrapping legacy systems with a decoupled integration layer, bringing traditional batch-based processes to real-time digital cloud, mobile, and social applications. APIs enable the modular application stack underlying banking as a platform and provide fintechs with digital banking capabilities. Solaris Bank, Starling Bank were created as platform businesses. They provide banking services on their platforms as building blocks, which their partners can mix and match and create banking services. These building blocks include bank accounts, know your customer services, algorithmic scoring, transactions, and even payment cards, all accessible via APIs. These platforms have banking license, so developers and third parties don't need to have them. As open banking grows, APIs connect banks and third-party firms entering into collaborative partnership for innovation, which allows them to build new and different applications and services. BBVA and Uber, leaders in their respective markets in Mexico, announced their alliance, which sees BBVA launching an entirely new financial experience by making its services available in a third-party platform for the benefit of Uber drivers and delivery partners. To access banking services, most customers today log into a web-based or mobile-based platform pull their balance and transaction data on demand. APIs are emerging as a new connectivity channel, streamlining and securing on-demand programmatic access to the financial data for accounting packages, treasury management systems, ERP platforms, and many others. Another interesting disruption is in travel industry, as we've seen before, how Momondo works. Similarly, there are other platforms like Opodo, Agoda, Booking.com. All these businesses are there because of APIs. So we can see that there are many ways to benefit from APIs. There are many ways to reduce complexity, reduce the cost, to gain benefits from new business models and revenue streams due to APIs. So it is important to understand how you can best utilize them by having an API strategy. And to start with, it's important to understand what APIs are and what possibilities they can enable for your specific business. It's important to start with corporate strategy, with digital strategy and data strategy, and keep APIs in mind. It's important to identify unique digital assets that could be more effectively exploited with APIs, and it's important to also understand which assets could be made available through an API. It's important to identify internal and external partners whose unique capabilities could be combined to deliver new market propositions. It's also important to understand what kind of business model and monetization strategy are you going to adopt. Review your existing IT infrastructure, applications and services, because you need to know what you're going to build on and where you need to create data bridges. It's important to understand your API people capabilities, because they will be the one to deliver the strategy, the implementation of the strategy. The next and a very important step in implementing a successful API strategy is to implement organizational change to support API first thinking. It is important for all employees and the whole company, but especially for your architects and developers. It is important to think of your APIs as a product and developers as your customers. Focus on developer experience is important. Looking ahead, blockchain-based applications may unlock even bigger potential of the API economy. APIs, by nature, are designed to create interconnected systems that share data freely and more effectively. And that is exactly what decentralized blockchain applications excel in. If widely utilized, blockchain would allow APIs to share data in a more transparent yet securely encrypted way to protect user privacy and confidential business information. I hope this was an interesting overview of what APIs are and how they can enable great business benefits. And I hope that you will start thinking about API strategy today. If there are any questions, please leave in comments and I'll be happy to answer. Thank you.